Meanwhile, President Trump is taking steps to fulfill a promise he made on the campaign trail, and that's bringing coal mining jobs back to America. Environmental Protection Agency Administrator Scott Pruitt expected to formally withdraw from the Obama-era Clean Power Plan today. Speaking at an organized event in the coal mining town of Hazard, Kentucky, Pruitt outlined the need for the rollback. Watch this.
The EPA and no federal agency should ever use its authority to say to you that we're going to declare war on any sector of our economy. That's wrong. It was wrong for the last administration to declare war on coal, and it's right for this administration to say that the war is over.
This coming after the EPA's assessment of the 2015 plan called it, quote, an unlawful expansion of the agency's authority, according to documents obtained by the Wall Street Journal. The limits enacted during the Obama administration targeted carbon emissions at power plants and became central to reducing emissions under the Paris Accord. Last June, President Trump indicated his plans to withdraw the United States from the Paris Climate Accord. John Hilsenrath with us this morning. And, John, this announcement is already being met by opposition. Let's talk about this because you've got both states and environmental groups pushing back. The attorney generals of both New York and California are saying they will sue to stop this repeal. Are we looking at the beginning of litigation? I mean, these rules were one of the reasons that many companies were not spending money. They were afraid of regulation. It basically made them handcuffed to do anything.
Well, in terms of litigation, I think what we're looking at is the continuation of litigation, because the Obama administration's plan was challenged by the industry for being an unlawful use of the Clean Air Act. So, you know, this is going to be the continuation of it. But I think what it speaks to more broadly is the impact that this administration is having on the regulatory front. You know, we spent a lot of time talking about what isn't happening in Congress on tax overhaul, on health overhaul. If you look at areas like labor markets, they're changing overtime rules, this EPA Clean Power Plan. If you look at things like health, they just rolled back regulation on, for instance, contraception. There is a lot happening on the regulatory front where this administration is having a real impact on industries in the economy.
I think that's why we got a 3.1% print on the GDP last week. I really do, because companies are finally loosening it up because they see regulations coming back. What do you think?
Yeah, well, even more, I really love the politics of this. You know, I love the optic. I love Pruitt in coal country, in these kind of Midwestern states that Trump has to win, freeing up the economy to produce for America. I think it's really a good signal to the country.
This is who voted for him, the working man.
And particularly coal country. I think during the primary season, one of the strongest turnouts that now President Trump had was in Buchanan County, which is in Western Virginia. Again, coal country. And to your point, Scott Pruitt, when he was the Attorney General of Oklahoma, actually did sue the EPA 14 times. So he understands what he might be facing in terms of court and pushback from these very liberal states like California. But there was a great deal of overreach during the Obama administration in terms of executive orders, in terms of clamping down on businesses.
Oh, yeah.
And this will at least... The story that liberals never tell you is that in terms of climate regulation, that it raises prices on energy for the very people who can't afford it. It hurts lower-income Americans and lower-income individuals around the world, because when you're essentially making fossil fuels more expensive. You're essentially putting a tax on them, and that does hurt people. It not only destroys jobs, but it hurts people who can't afford higher energy bills.
Yeah. And electricity bills have gone up.
Right.
A couple of things. I think it's a little early right now to declare the revival of the coal industry, because there's a lot of competition coming from natural gas, which
fracking.
is the result of American innovation and American ingenuity. So, you know, I don't think we can expect that jobs are going to come storming back in West Virginia. And in terms of the broader economy, Maria, I think it's a little early to say that these rollbacks of regulations are having a big impact on growth right now. I think this is the kind of thing that has to accumulate over time. You know, I'm not sure if a 3% growth rate last quarter, you know, it might have helped, but I don't think it was the big cause for a pickup from 2 to 3%.
What do you think it was?
Well, you know,
stock market gains?
I mean, consumers are spending a little bit more. That's a good sign. You know, I think that you get short-term volatility in the economy. We had a very soft first quarter, and then you had a pickup in the second quarter. You know, I think we have to see more quarters like the second before we can believe that this is for real.
You're not buying it yet.
Well,
you're not buying it.
we don't have
I think it's because of regulation.
We don't have a president who said on the campaign trail, as Hillary Clinton did, to coal miners, we're going to destroy your jobs.
Right.
Your jobs are going to disappear,
Right.
and we'll figure out a way to find you another job.
More than that, he showed a little bit of optimism, right? I mean, it wasn't just all your jobs are going away. It's, you know, we might do something for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to create jobs. Well,